it begs the question of these two players, who feels a little bit more solid, who feels in the better form, who feels like they're going to move on and get a date with Max Packs in the finals, because that is what they're fighting for, which kind of is painful if you think about it. Oh, great, you know. Clem has to deal with the best PvT player in the world if he gets it there, and Raider would have to deal with the best PvP player in the world if that happens, and that's a hard that's a hard problem to swallow. Put it that way. But this is actually surprising to me. I favored Clem. I said that in the break. I think Clem is the favored player here by, you know, a fairly significant margin. But I did not expect Clem in like all-time series and Legacy of the Void to be 10-3 against Creator, because Clem has not always been the hot kid on the block in Legacy, and Creator has at times been very good, especially last year. But I guess either they didn't run into each other all that much last year, or B, Clem still took it because Clem is very good, and he was certainly peaking in his PvT at that point. But he's gonna get the scat off. He's gonna see this gateway very, very early, and that means that he should have the proper response. So this Zealot, this first one that was run across the map, sorry, I said gateway, because I was under the assumption that that's what this was. This is a Stargate on the way for a Creator, and now as the Adept pops, this should be a dead Reaper. At least he's going to be able to shepherd the Zealot across onto the other side of the map. What's going to come out of this Stargate? Because the probe is still here. No, Creator. That's not legal. They nerfed this. They nerfed this build like 10 times now. This is not okay. Creator's going Proxy Void Ray into Clem on Gressfon. And, you know, in fairness, Gressfon does have he's a fairly wide ramp into the main base, and that is certainly something. But I mean, they nerfed this build so many times where, I mean, I guess maybe it can work. I don't know. I don't think that it will. Is this Zealot is just going to go down. But what this is doing, by the way, the Adept and the Zealot committing here, even as they don't get damage, what it means is Clem is A, going to take damage on his anti-air. It means B, that he can't go and he cannot contest the shield batteries they're starting to get made. So now one Marine's going to go down. Second one falls very quickly. Has to find a bunker. Won't. And this is a tech lab on this barracks. There is no there's no reactor. There's no really solid way to make sure that Clem is, you know, able to build 2 Marines at a time and to get that like interstitial anti-air. And that means Clem just has to give this position up. So he's holding with bunkers. First Cyclone's out, and once you get to like 2 or 3, it starts to feel pretty nice. But Clem did go open Reaper Expand, and that was one of the ways that you would, one of those situations where it just would feel really bad as the Terran player against things like this. So for now, we're going to see, well, supply depots will fall. That is certainly something that you don't want to run into, that you don't want to deal with, because Clem is going to find himself supply blocked after this one or nearabouts. But of course, Cyclone is doing a really good job of not getting dove on top of staying alive here. Even as the damage happens, it's going to get repaired. Now with 2 Cyclones out, Magfield halfway done. Yeah, is Magfield quite as good into Void Rays as it used to be? No, but it's very good against everything else. So, I mean, it does seem like, you look at this, like, wow, you know, Creator's occupying so much space. He's pushing forward. You got to repair this, though, Clem. It's so important to keep Magfield alive and actually double lock on there on the Cyclone. It means the Void Ray falls, and you can't lose that. You cannot lose a Void Ray. Not in this setup. Every single one is important. You're looking for one-shot potential. You're looking for that damage, for the position where effectively the Terran player doesn't have enough anti-air to deal with it anymore. But by losing that, it really does shut down round 1 of this pressure. And it seems like Creator is slow on the follow-up. There were versions of this build, what was it, 2 years ago now? A year ago? Let me get rid of that. Sorry about that. Like 2 years ago, where there was a blink transition. And it was, okay, force all the anti-Void Ray, or the anti-Void Ray stuff, and I'm going to go and I'm going to build blink stalkers off that. And the Terran's not going to be ready. And it worked. But first of all, Magfield is really good against stalkers now. And second of all, Creator has not committed to that one. It's just more Void Rays, just more Stalkers, just more Adepts, just more Gateway beef. And I mean, just look at things melt. 2 shots, 3 shots, and the Void Rays fall. Meanwhile, on the other side, Reaper gets damage done. I don't know if it's going to kill anything, but certainly it forces Creator to pay attention at home. It slows down the push, and the Reaper gets out. So now there are tanks on the way with 4 Cyclones. I mean, yeah, you're not afraid of the air anymore. It really is just about the ground, so you get tanks. And that is going to be how Clem is going to look to start to break out of this. Is what is that, 3 volleys to kill a shield battery? I mean, there's a reason this build is not... Void Rays are more expensive. Void Rays build slower. Shield batteries spawn in with half energy. There's a reason that this build is not in the meta and has not been really for quite a while now. And it feels like I mean, there's no second expand coming out of Creator. We're not seeing... he's not getting his natural. You know, he's not doing any... He's just committing more and more to this, and... I would have liked a bunch of different follow-ups, you know, go blink, fine. I mean, it's rough against Macfield, fine, sure, but, you know, go blink, something like that. Lock-on's there on the Void Rays. Here comes the break attempt, but there's a bunker. There are Marines, Cyclones. Okay, Creator's dead. Bye-bye. Creator, get out of game 1. Try it again, something else. But game 1 is not going to go to the way of the Korean Protoss. Clem just holds on beautifully. I think that's fair. I think that is reasonable. And it doesn't seem like he will, right? I mean, the probe is not being sneaky. I didn't see what the pylon timing was. I didn't see kind of how quick the gas was taken, but... I'm going to assume that Creator's not going to go for that again. Well, let's see. Who knows? For now, this is going to be a probe on the north side, and this is a sneaky little probe. I don't know if it's certainly not going to go for proxy Void Rays. That time, you need to have the pylon down by now. That timing is over, and the probe's not in the right position, but certainly you could go and drop a pylon and drop a Twilight, drop a Dark Shrine later, maybe. Even just drop a pylon and warp in from a different position, something like that. I don't know. But Creator has shown, I mean, it's one game, but he has shown some tendency, and this is feeling, okay, just, it's got to be for the rescout. That's boring. That's okay, fine. I was about to say, well, you know, okay, Twilight's halfway done. Yeah, he's dropping a pylon right now as the Reaper will fall. He can drop a pylon right now, go for Dark Shrine. But we're not there yet. And, I mean, maybe it's not for the rescout. It's a sneaky probe. There's got to be for something. You don't just keep the probe like this. 2 more gateways are added with no sign of any tech. Blink on the way. So we're on 3 gate right now. What is Creator doing? So for now, it's Clem's doing normal things, right? It's going to be a Widowmine drop out of Clem. That's standard, that's safe, that's acceptable. But there's a pylon. Okay, there we go. Pylon on the map coming out of Creator. A 3rd gateway getting added in. So we're looking at, this is 4-gate blink. 4-gate blink without a robo. It is the fastest way you can get blink stalkers across the map. And actually, it's going to be more than that. So 3 gateways on the way, 3 gateways done. 6-gate. 6-gate blink stalker all in coming out of Creator in game number 2, and Clem has not opted for something that is standard, I guess, for the lack of a better term. He hasn't opted for tanks into Ravens or something. I mean, actually, that's not even fair. This is a standard opener, but the Widowmine drop does not have the defensive acumen that other builds might. Yes, there are tanks and Ravens on the way after this, but Widowmine takes away from your factory production just a little bit, getting the Hellion as well, but that's not super relevant. That's just because you don't have enough gas to make anything else, and the factory's, you know, dead a little bit, so you have room in the build. But for now, Clem sees a couple stalkers. 445 in, sees 3 stalkers in the natural. That's not that big of a tell, but he sniffed something out anyways. I guess maybe it's the lack of gas at the natural and no 3rd. He's building a 2nd bunker at that natural. And one of the downsides of this build, by the way, we got to be clear, with no robo, no Stargate, there's no high ground vision. There's no way to force Clem into the main unless you get an adept in there or something, or maybe you build a sentry and hallucinate. But even that is expensive, and that is, when you are only on 2 gas like this, it really is all about just building as many stalkers as possible. And We see Creator, I mean, he's building Zealots. He does not have the gas count to really start to pump Stalker count the way you would like. So what am I drop into the natural here? Clem considers it, thinks about it for a moment. Creator, no pull whatsoever here. He's going to lose so much. 9 workers go down because he's focusing on fighting at the front. And that means 1 bunker will go down very quickly here. Second one as well. Creator, though, truly all in. Bunker, or excuse me, tank on the high ground. And this Marine Concave is really, really solid. Zealots tanking for the time being. And workers and workers and workers continue to fall down. But the Stalkers, we're not going to see anything warped in home. At least we shouldn't. Creator, though, it seems like he just has too much here. Gets on top of the tank, but doesn't get a shot. And now this tank on the high ground is doing oh so much here. We said it felt like Creator had far too much. But I'm not even sure anymore. 19 workers hit the deck right now. Clem able to mine from half the natural. And it seems like, oh, actually, Widow mines into the main base here from the natural. They're going to get even more. 2 workers. Call it 9. 18 probes to the deck. This tank in the main is trying and will eventually go down, but there's another one where that came from. The hug of death from these SCVs. The Citizen's Arrest is doing oh so much here. Creator only on 22 workers, and Clem has got mules for days. This is not enough. Creator has been absolutely bopped out of this game with really no safety. Clem 2-0. He moves on to the finals to face Max Pax. And that's going to be a lot of fun. But if you liked this video, and if you're here this far, I hope you did, you should drop subscribe, because I upload a ton of StarCraft content and Stormgate content most days of the week. And if you want to catch me live, twitch.tv/Behemoth as well. I'll see you next time, because this game was good. I'll see you then.